Have you guys heard about this whole thing with Elon Musk? People telling him that he should end world hunger.
I've heard whispers of it.
Okay, yeah. So like there was like this bill or tax proposed of like this billionaire's tax, and I didn't look too much into that, but basically how it came down to was Elon was kind of shitting on it. Of like, he literally there was a tweet that he said, "I will sell Tesla shares right now for $6 billion," because that's there. Someone was asking him to sell like $6 billion from him. It's like, I will sell it right now and give the funds right away if you can answer in this tweet thread how exactly you're going to spend it and how it's going to end world hunger. So I found that pretty funny because on one part, that's like the most troll thing you could possibly say. But I know for sure if someone was able to actually answer that, he would do it. Like, that's what I actually think. Like, if there was an actual answer where $6 billion solved world hunger, he would do it.
He's a man of the people.
Yeah.
I 100% would believe that as well.
But I really think he was calling them the fuck out because that's just not possible.
And because he knows they're full of shit.
Yeah, so there was a reply from someone from like the UN World Health Organization or something like that.
Okay.
So there was like a 2-minute interview. The guy was only talking for about 1 minute of it. So it's World Food Program Director David Bessel. So in like as soon as he starts talking, he starts off by saying, "We can answer all of their questions or all of his questions because we're the largest operation feeding roughly 120 million people worldwide." So 10 seconds into this, he says, "But because of COVID," and he says exactly, it's because of COVID impacting climate change and conflict, we have a one-time crisis with 42 million people starving right now in this moment, and it will cost about over $6 billion. So he's trying to start off by saying, yeah, we can answer any question he has, but this one-time situation, there's 42 million people exactly, and it's going to cost $6 billion just to feed them. So I find that kind of fucked up. And it's just like, and that like, if that was him, the media is saying that this is him answering Elon. So whoever doesn't actually watch this video and investigate it, they're going to go, oh, well, now the ball's in Elon's court. Now he has to sell his shares because they actually answered his question. But they literally were like, yeah, we can answer everything, but just right now, we just can't do it because of this very specific situation. And so we look forward to working with Elon, though.
I feel like they're full of shit because they're basically framing it in a way where they're saying, yeah, your $6 billion, we could use that right now, but that actually won't solve the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, because of special circumstances. Like, that just seems like some kind of excuse.
He goes on to saying, he's like, the governments are tapped out and billionaires make so much money, so we're just asking this one time. Please help us. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just asking this one time, my ass. They ask every other day. He's going to donate that money, and in a year, they're going to, after he gets nice publicity, everyone's like, oh my God, Elon, you're such a hero. A year from then, they're going to be like, we need more money.
Yeah, we need another $6 billion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and like, so I was
like a week.
Yeah, I was looking into it too. So Google says that there's roughly like 690 to 854 million people who go undernourished in the world. And that's like per year. So let's just say it was like $100 billion to feed, $100 billion to potentially feed every single unnourished person every single year. Because if it's going to be, like I had the math here, but I already lost it. But yeah, so 42 million people that'll cost over $6 billion. We can say 100 billion for 1 billion people. But this is so much more about it. Like, we need to understand that if we're trying to feed the undernourished and we're just turning it into this huge tax, like it's less about feeding just the people who need the food, and we need to understand that, okay, more like, why don't we think in the sense of it's going to cost $1 trillion a year to feed every single person on the planet equally, so that it doesn't matter who you are or where you are, food is the one thing that you don't actually have to worry about in life. So, and I feel like until we start thinking in that aspect, and it's always like, well, we need this much to feed the people who need it the most, it's always going to be a problem, right? Because it's always just going to be this thing where we're passing the blame on to someone else. Where until we actually think about the idea that it's going to cost way more to feed everyone on the entire planet, that's when the actual answer is going to come. But it's It's just this blame game that's been going on for years because it's such an easy topic to bring up.
Yeah,
It just kind of it bugs me.
it's so many people talking about the problem, but not the actual solution or the steps to get there. And I think that's where the question that Elon asked is, it's not about the money. It's not about anything like that. I want to see what you guys actually have planned.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to Mars, and this is my exact plan to get there. I'm going to build this rocket. I'm going to make sure it can come back. I'm going to do this. Now, what's your plan? And it's to take $6 billion from me and feed 42 million people.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're just feeding them. Are you giving them sandwiches? Are you like building new crops for farmers? What's the actual plan?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was hanging out with a friend of ours, Max, the other day, and Max is in the finance industry. Obviously, I do restaurants, but we had a little talk about these high-paying jobs that are out there, and you could kind of connect that to the dude who just responded to Elon, who is the CEO or whatever fucking big huge organization that obviously he's probably got a nice income, right?
Yeah.
Like that guy's easily making
donating
6
to
figures.
this company pays for his salary.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of you
any
need to
government
understand
job has a pretty decent pay.
Yeah.
And you can imagine their pension's probably pretty nice. The longer they're in office, or the longer he holds this CEO spot. When he leaves, he'll probably be pretty nice for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And not to say that this is some kind of epiphany that no one's ever thought of, but like these dudes are just trying to collect a check. There's no problem solving here. He's not trying to solve world hunger. He's trying to do as much as he can to stay in a good positive light so that he holds his position as long as possible without ever solving the problem. Because the moment he solves the problem, the moment that organization doesn't need to exist and he doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
So he just has to hold his position, do enough things, say enough things, get people to keep him in his office. Same with any politician, by the way. Any politician, just try and stay in office as long as possible. And the longer you hold term, the bigger that pension is, and the longer you collect a check.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about solving these problems.
Your true mission is basically to get the company paid so that you can take that lump sum and go, okay, this much goes to the CEO so that they can continue to make these big decisions. This much is allotted to try and expand the company itself. And then whatever's left over, that's what feeds all these hungry people. And that's fucked up. Like even the Red Cross, which is supposed to be this big, like a donation organization or something like that, it's been around forever, and it's basically a scam. Like it's fucked. It's absolutely fucked.
Dudes are collecting a check. The moment there's no problems, problem solvers don't have a job, so they're not actually trying to solve problems. It's like, actually, I think a comedian said this or used this premise as a bit. He was talking about, it might have been Bo Burnham, to be honest. I might actually be thinking about Bo Burnham. But he said something about the conflict of interest of people that make rape whistles. It's like you make rape whistles to prevent rape, but you're also trying to sell rape whistles, so you need rape to sell these whistles.
Catch-22.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what these problem solvers are all doing. They're all trying to solve problems, but they need problems to keep a job. And they're just trying to collect a check, because at the end of the day, the moment that they're like, all right, I've been trying to solve world hunger for 22 years. I'm such a great guy. I'm going to go live in Florida. Fuck this.
Yeah.
What? They just wipe their hands and collect the check for the rest of their lives. And all these people are still fucking hungry. And did that motherfucker put all his money into solving world hunger? No.
Yeah.
He just sat on that chair and he preached it. And he collected a fucking check, because that's all they're doing. These people, they all just collect a check. And that's like anybody that works in any of these high-end jobs, like they're just trying to hold that position, because how many people are truly passionate about what they do to the point where they don't want to collect a check?
I feel like the majority of those people all have the same no solicitors sign on their front door. No, sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't want it. The irony kills me.
Seriously.
Yeah, we had this talk we hung out the other night. We had this chat, and I swear to God, it seemed like every other minute we're talking about somebody else, some other thing, and it was just like the same conclusion. They're just collecting a check.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the answer to all these dummies that are trying to solve all these problems.
And even to go back to Elon's initial thing was about the tax of billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with all those ideas is that they're already getting taxed. but they have lawyers that figure out loopholes. So you
Yeah.
need to fix the loopholes.
If we
don't need to do like they don't pay any taxes.
Yeah,
because they don't
if
have
we
to.
talk about that, like if we take it a step back to there, it's like, yeah, it's a very fine line, because on one side it's like they're not paying tax because they're using their money efficiently and going in, like stimulating the economy in different ways in a sense, right? But they're saving a lot of fucking money, and like that money could go towards the government so that they could fund certain projects and stuff. But
Even
it's a
that
really
guy
fine
that
line.
the guy that runs the organization for ending world hunger, I'm sure the money that gets sent to them is counted as charity, so that's probably not even taxable.
Oh yeah,
so
they're-
his check isn't taxable.
yeah, they're a non-profit organization, right?
So all these guys are making all this money and still complaining that billionaires make this, so we need to tax the rich. Just fix the loopholes. Stop
Yeah.
trying to pretend that we need to tax the rich 80%. They're not going to pay it anyway. It's just going to end up coming out. We're going to
Yeah.
pay more.
That's why I fully support an entire economic worldwide collapse, man. Like, just like a systemic reset of everything, where we just have to pick up the pieces and go, okay, yeah, so that wasn't working. Let's try this and this and this, and just kind of figure it out from there. But the fucking world needs to collapse for that to happen. So we'll see, man.
That's the goal, honestly. Like
Yeah.
if I could ever get the Elon Musk amount of influence and money, I'm going Dr. Evil. I'm going sideways
Going to
on
the moon.
everybody. I'm gonna make the moon the only livable place.
Yeah.
We're going to Kyle's moon. There'll be a big sign. Every telescope will be able to see it.
That's funny.
No.